say we're live.
Mine too. We'll call the meeting to order. Becky, if you'll do the roll call.
Sure. Brent Parsley,
Present.
Leslie Tressler,
Here?
Stan Rogers,
Here.
Dr. Prater Powell,
Here.
Leslie Brassfield. Not here. All righty.
We have the approval of the agenda. Everybody received that in their email, I think. Entertain a motion to approve that.
Make a motion.
Motion by Stan.
Second.
Second by Leslie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Everyone received the meeting minutes from the April 9th minute. Am I right, the 9th? Yeah, my glasses, so. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Leslie,
Second.
second by, is that Prater?
Mm-hmm.
Prater, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Citizens' comments. Don't think we have anyone here to. We'll get into the programs report.
All right, our lifeguard course, we had 7 participants, and they all passed the course. So we had 7 new lifeguards come out of that. Our summer day camp, we're doing 9 weeks of the summer day camp, and all weeks are currently full with 75 kids enrolled in each week. We do have wait lists for each week. We have 102 different individuals signed up for summer camp because we have different kids that come throughout the summer. And we do expect, as people figure out their vacations, that some will drop out of weeks, and we'll be able to get kids in from the wait lists for that. So that's summer day camp. Our spring egg hunts, the 8 and under, which was held in the morning, we had about 250 kids. And then the night egg hunt, which we have at the soccer complex where we turn the lights out and they have to hunt for eggs with a flashlight. We had about 350 participated in that one at night. Our underwater egg hunt, we take 75 kids, they pre-register for that. So we had 2 different egg hunts, one at 5 and one at 7, and they were both full. And then we had our Arbor Day tree planting. That was on April 16th from 11 to 1. They had Girl Scout Troop 2336, Coffee County Soil and Water Conservation, Coffee County UT Extension, and the Crimson Clover Tennessee Master Gardeners all participated, and there were 40 trees donated by the Natural Resources Conservation Services, and they all participated and helped plant trees. We have Adult Basketball League coming up. So far, we do not have any teams signed up, so we're going to do another push to try and get some teams signed up for that.
Who's handling that kind of stuff?
Us.
It's kind of a tag team effort at the moment.
Then Adult Soccer League. We have 3 teams currently signed up. It's supposed to start June 7th. So we're hoping that maybe we'll get one more team signed up, so we'll have 4 that play.
Any questions about programs before we get into the maintenance side? All right, so maintenance, so last time we met, we talked about the lap pool boiler, that we had a part delivered. Well, it turned out it was not the correct part, so we ended up having REA come. They have it operational, however, there are some items that still need to be addressed with the unit. The cold water circulation pump has heavy wear on the motor bearings. They warned that if the motor shut off for an extended period of time, it might not come back on. They had to put a temporary sensor in the unit. That's what was keeping it from firing. So they've got another one of them on order for us, and they're working on a quote to fix all the things that they found when they came this last time. So our maintenance team, this is a picture of the underside of the slide platform for the outdoor pool slides, the big slides. You'll see the dark lines there. This is install new angle. We installed some angle iron underneath the platform just to give it extra support for the 2025 pool season, because when we started the renovation process for the pool season, this item had to be taken out due to time constraints, budget constraints. So we contacted St. John Engineering's office, had them come out and look at the slide structure, and they just felt like for recommendation to add these extra supports just to reassure us for the summer season. So that's what our maintenance team's been working on this whole week here. Getting into old business, so tournaments during the month of April, we were pretty busy with tournaments. Manchester City Schools had their archery tournament on April the 4th. They had just over 300 archers that came through the rec center to compete. The Coffee County High School baseball tournament was held on the Babe Ruth Field on April 11th through the 12th. Coffee County High School softball had a tournament at Dave King the 25th through the 27th of April. And we hosted a AAU basketball tournament the weekend of April 25th, 27th. And we also hosted a baseball tournament in Fred Edmond Park that same weekend. So that one weekend was pretty busy for us. And then coming up, we've got a tournament at the end of the month. Tim Johnson's holding a softball tournament at Dave King, May 31st. We actually have a tournament list happening this Saturday at Dave King. Sarah Campbell's holding a fast pitch tournament there. And then you can see that Coffee County Fast Pitch League has several tournaments ready for the summer going into the fall there. We're just about ready to close out our TDEC grant for the ball field renovations. We met with Scott St. John earlier this week. He went through, did a punch list of some items that CNH needs to correct. Once they have those corrected, then St. John will come back out and make sure that they're done to standards, and then we'll schedule a final inspection with TDEC for them to close out the grant. Last time we talked about the issue with Field 6, having the lights were flickering on and off. Come to find out it was a loose connection inside the control box, so that's been remedied. We did have an issue, I believe it was Field 6 this last week. They say it was a power issue, so CNH is working with Musco to figure out what the issue is on that. I haven't got a report back from CNH on what they found out yet. And then also last time we spoke, there was 2 lights out on the Babe Ruth Field. Since we've met, CNH was able to get up to the top of the pole and found that there was a wiring connection that was loose at the head unit. And so he reconnected that, so now all the lights on the Babe Ruth Field are operational. Going into our Phase 1A that we'll call it for the aquatic renovations. So it used to be Langley and Taylor, now they're Nashville Swim Club are the ones that are making the renovations. They came out, started on May the 7th, started demoing the outdoor pool. The tile around the outdoor pool will not be replaced until the fall because there was an issue with the tile having an 8 to 12 week lead time. So the plan now is the tile that needs replaced, they'll put a temporary repair down for that, and then come fall, they'll come back and actually put the appropriate tile down. So that's where we're at with the tile work. They have all the plaster on site to start plastering the pool. Their plan is to start plastering the pool this weekend and putting the 2x2 tile on the steps to differentiate the steps underneath the water. That's all their plans for this weekend. And then also, starting tomorrow, they're going to remove all the old filters out of the pump room and replace those from tomorrow through the 18th for us to be back open with the pools on the 19th. So obviously right now, all our pools are shut down from today through Sunday.
You got schools coming in after the 18th?
We do. We have schools, I believe there's one every day once we start back up on the 19th. Yep. College Street came last week and booked the 19th, and they said they have to check some things. They're supposed to be getting back with me whether they're actually coming or not, so I was going to call them back tomorrow to make sure. But other than that, I know we have the school pretty much every day. And they've all been made aware that the outdoor pool's not available, so we did have a few schools. We had more booked for the month of May, but when we had to call and tell them the outdoor pool isn't going to be available, they decided not to come. So we did have to refund some fees back to schools. And hopefully next pool season we'll be able to get them back and have everybody like we normally do. Any questions on pool renovations? All right, so financial report, so like we've done before, this is our monthly bank reconciliation. I went ahead and put 2020 on there to show you from COVID how we've recovered, to say, to this current point. So this past April, our bank reconciliation was $102,468.64. So we are making a comeback. You know, we've got a ways to go yet, but we're getting there, I feel like. So on to new business. Had a few staff changes that have happened since we met last time. We're currently, so we have the 2 full-time front desk attendants. I think we spoke about that last time. We're working on hiring a 3rd one. We have interviews set up for tomorrow. And then also our athletic coordinator, Berto Infante, resigned from his position to take another job up in Murfreesboro. So his duties right now are being split between staff to cover that gap. But at this time, his full-time position will not be replaced. Any questions about any of that?
Okay, who's gonna take care of what he was doing?
His duties are going to be split up between the staff. Right now, I'm communicating with the ball leagues to finish off the season, updating their schedules, make sure the lights are happening. I'm talking with the tournaments. When it comes to the basketball league, the soccer league, the rest of us are going to sit down and figure out, how we're going to operate that program. He left. The good thing Berto did before he left is he pretty much had the basketball league and soccer league planned out. So he left us a good detailed note. So hopefully we can just get teams signed up and pick up and go. I know the basketball league, we've not had one sign up yet because I think they were unsure with Berto leaving if the program was going to happen or not. I've talked to a few of them and told them it is going to happen, but they haven't signed up yet.
What happens to that in the future? Are we gonna eventually hire someone, or?
We hope so. Right now, we've been tasked with raising revenues, getting our revenues back up pre-COVID, we'll say. So we've been indicated that once revenues get back where they are, then we can go back to being fully staffed. But until revenues get back to where they were pre-COVID, replacing those full-time positions is not possible.
Is there a position that you have now that could pick up those duties? Or is that program, would it take priority over anything you have now that could be replaced?
I don't understand your question.
Okay, I guess your athletic program, if you don't have anyone doing that except various staff members and so forth, if you can handle it now, that's fine. But in the future, is your athletic program have any priority over other programs you have right now, that you have other people in place that, say, for instance, someone left? Would you replace an athletic position, or would you replace that position that they have?
No, I would replace the athletic position. If we had another staff member leave and we had the opportunity to hire another full-time person, I would replace the athletic position. Because athletics is a big part of our department, not only with the local leagues, but also getting tournaments in. Berto did a good job about running other athletic positions, or athletic, leagues within our department to increase revenue. So, the athletic position is a big revenue generating position.
Okay, is there anyone on staff now that could go into the athletic coordinator position as opposed to what they're doing now?
Probably not get paid for it, that's what you're.
Yeah, we don't have anyone on staff at the moment that could go into that athletic position. I mean, it takes a special skill set for someone to do
And I
that.
think what he's saying is and then other people absorb their duties if there was somebody capable of doing that.
Yeah. Yes,
Before that, there was Jeff Howe, correct?
correct.
And before Jeff?
Before Jeff.
Mo was there, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Monica?
Monica was,
Monica.
yeah, Monica was the first one whenever I was there many years, started many years ago. Then Monica left. Then you had Ian Campmeyer, and then Ever Campachano. And I think after Ever left, I think it became Jeff. And then when Jeff left, Claire Jolly became athletic coordinator, and then after Claire, it became Berto.
So there basically has always been someone in that position.
Correct. Yes. So like I said, all our positions in our department are key positions. That position is a key position for generating revenue, which we've been tasked with increasing.
Which I think right now that's what we're supposed to be trying to get done.
Correct. Yes. So, it's going to be challenging. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be challenging to increase athletic revenue without an athletic coordinator.
Who's head of maintenance now?
We do not have a head of maintenance. So maintenance duties, which I think that's my next slide. Maintenance duties have been dispersed per se. So the mowing, lining of ball fields, dragging of ball fields, trimming trees in the park, along the greenway, that has all been transferred over to Public Works. So we had one staff member transferred to Public Works, along with some of our equipment, mowers, trucks, things of that nature. We had one staff member that quit, and so we are down to 2 maintenance gentlemen now. Their main duties are repairing preventive maintenance within the department. They are still cleaning the restrooms in the morning, getting them open, then after they do that, they're going and doing repairing maintenance type jobs. But when it comes to the baseball fields, baseball league took over the maintenance of those fields. So they've contracted out the mowing, so they have someone that's mowing them. The league themselves are dragging and lining the fields. Now, when it comes to ball tournaments, our staff, John and Jacobs, our 2 maintenance gentlemen that we still have on staff, they come in on the tournament day, drag and line the ball field, and get ready for the day. And then throughout the day, we have other part-time staff, could be a lifeguard, could be a wellness attendant, that's doing the ground trash, cleaning out the trash barrels, making sure the bathrooms are clean throughout the tournament. But the Public Works Department, so softball, both slow pitch and fast pitch, and soccer, they're taking care of lining their fields.
What is our responsibility now for the ball fields, other than tournaments? Anything?
No.
And you said that the ball field is hiring someone to come onto the city property and mow?
Correct. Yeah, they've contracted a mowing company, I'm assuming, or maybe an individual, but I know I saw the gentleman come down there today to mow, but he didn't have any markings on his truck saying if he was an individual or if he was, had a company.
Who's paying him?
The ball leagues are paying him. Yep. And the ball leagues are
When you say the ball leagues, you're talking about
baseball.
everybody, oh, you're talking baseball.
Yeah, baseball.
So he would have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 fields to mow?
He's doing 3 at the moment because the Bay Ruth field, baseball has not started using that one yet because they haven't started their 15 up league yet.
Okay, will he be doing that one? You don't know?
I'm presuming it will.
That's not your problem anymore.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, does that person have liability, malpractice? I mean, does that fall back on?
The
Like
league.
Like the
center,
city, not us.
league?
If the city's hiring them now, we don't have a responsibility
But
for
then
them.
City's not
You're the
hiring,
leagues.
the ball league is.
I know, but the city's taking over the ball field maintenance.
And
So
that's,
there shouldn't be anything coming back to us as far as something happening to those fields,
Yeah, it shouldn't, no.
I would think.
Assume.
I
I would
just didn't
assume.
know, I just didn't know if that was still our responsibility to make sure that the person had their malpractice,
If
had
they got hurt.
license bonded, things like that, if they got hurt.
Yeah.
What about the girls softball? City's taking care of those?
So girls softball, Public Works is mowing, dragging, and lining those fields. Same with the fast pitch field in Fred Devin.
Okay.
And then also the soccer fields. Public Works is mowing those fields and painting the lines.
Okay, who's calling the shots when it's too bad to play on them?
That is completely up to the leagues. So like this last couple of days where we had a lot of rain, Public Works, there was still some water on the field. They called me and asked, what to do in this situation. I said, take a leaf blower, blow off the area best you could.
Yeah.
And then I said, just throw lines on it. I said, up to them, it's up to the leagues whether they play or not. My understanding is if the leagues cause any damage to the facility, then they are to pay to repair it back to the way that they found it.
What about the concessions at the ball fields?
So Fred Dedman Concessions is being operated by the Manchester Youth Baseball League. The Dave King Concessions is being operated by the Manchester Slow Pitch League.
So we're out of that business.
The only concession stand we still have is the soccer fields. We reached out to the soccer league and asked them if they wanted to take it over, and they said no, they didn't want the responsibility. They didn't want the responsibility of doing their own fields. So we still operate that concession stand. It's a relatively simple concession stand to operate because it's just prepackaged items. We do order pizza from Domino's, so they deliver it, and then we have a crock pot full of hot dogs. Other than that, it's simple stuff to sell. And then we'll operate the concessions at the rec center whenever.
That's what I was going to ask you. Rec Center, we're still in charge of those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I've been hearing rumors. I was just trying to find out.
Right.
Because I missed those meetings, and I guess that was taken care of.
And then, we have a food truck policy, that we passed. I know Crazy Daisies has been utilizing that. She's been there for some tournaments. She's been there pretty much every night at the baseball field. She's been selling, I think, lemonades and ice cream cones is what she's been selling. I talked to her this last week. She said she tried doing it on the Dave King side, but she said she didn't get much business over there, so she's mainly staying to the Fred Dedman side.
What are we getting off of that?
So the fee is $25 a day. So that's what we get off of her coming for a tournament. Now, there's different levels. So like a tournament, if I remember correctly, it's $100 for the day. And then each day after that, I think we add $25 for each.
So we're not getting any revenue off of that as far as the food selling is concerned?
No,
Just
we're
a vendor
basically
fee.
just collecting a fee for them being there. Yes. Yep. All right, on to new business. So we had a planning workshop. We talked about pricing for memberships. You have a packet there. There's a spreadsheet that shows other areas, or sorry, other departments in that area that have memberships and what their options are. I'll put that up there because I know that printout's a little hard to read. So we can start with your first page there, the regular membership pricing. When we met last, we talked about doing away with the 6-month membership and just proposing a month and a year membership, and then, of course, the daily options and the bank draft options. So that's what you have in front of you there. And I'm gonna let Becky jump in where she wants, because she's the one that made these.
So I
sheets
think
you're
if
looking
I
at.
understood my notes right, we were going to go with the county pricing, do away with city county, but go to the county pricing. And then we were just going to do individual, family, seniors, 80 and over, and then the student. So that's kind of where those prices are in there. That's the prices I put on the sheet. And then we were going to make families anyone related up to 22 years of age living full-time in the household. So those are kind of where I condensed those prices down. And then I didn't know if you wanted to look and just see what other people are charging for like their daily rates and their monthly. We're not crazy in either direction. Some are higher, some are lower. I think really like the city of Lebanon's really the only one that's like much higher, I think.
Yeah, $575 for a family membership, Lebanon is. Whereas Murfreesboro Sportscom and us, we're both 500, Patterson's 500. Chevville's $325, but they have, so Chevville and Tullahoma, and I think Memimville does the same thing, the way that their rec centers are set up, they charge add-on pricing. So like, you may have a membership to D.W. Wilson in Tullahoma, but that doesn't get you into their outdoor pool. You gotta pay a separate fee for that.
So it's cheaper because it's just for a smaller thing. And then-
Where ours is an all-inclusive. You pay $500 family membership, that gets you access to the whole facility, classes, and everything. And then you can see down here towards the bottom, when you compare, to a Gold's Gym or Anytime Fitness, that's, Crunch Fitness, $10. I mean, these 24/7 places, it's a little hard to compete with them. Of course, we offer more different amenities than they do too, so. Because I know I saw on, TV the other day that, Planet Fitness was running a special for, I think $1 down, $10 a month, you could have a membership at their place. We really can't compete with that, so that's, that's part of the issue with getting more revenue too, is competing with those type of businesses.
And then they don't have pools either. And some of them have gymnasiums, but I know like True Fit has basketball courts and stuff like that, but.
And, most of your Gold's Gyms, your, Anytime Fitnesses, they're not staffed, anytime we're open, we have staff there,
So you'll take this and present it to the board, correct?
Correct. If you guys, we can discuss the prices that are listed there. We can change them, up, down, whichever way you guys want to go.
I think what we decided that night is what to go with.
Okay.
Is that not the way you all understood it?
Okay.
So we'll entertain a motion to approve this to send to the mayor and alderman.
Did you want to approve each sheet at a time, or do you want to look at all of them?
We can do it all at one time if you
Okay.
want to.
So this is the overall regular one that we do to the general public. Then the next one is the pricing for the, like the city schools, Coffee County Government, Coffee County Board of Education. And that was what we would do with the yearly, monthly, and then the bank draft. And then the next page was, it's the same concept, but then we discussed how if the corporate, for 0 to 50 employees, if they gave $1,000 sponsorship, and then we just basically went up based on the size of the corporation, and then their sponsorship levels went up. And then the next sheet is the military, and I think I got this right. AJ and I had to talk through my notes. So it's military, active, retired, and veterans. And that's the fee structure there that we talked about. I don't think it really changed. It was the same fee structure. It was just changing who qualified as military. And then if they were 100% disabled military, they were just free, is what we discussed. So that was really the big change, was who qualified and who was free. But I think the pricing on that stayed as what it had been. And then the city wellness, this was probably the biggest change, was we were just going to go to a 50% discounted rate. So that is 50% off of what these rates would be here. So it would be the year individual would be $182.50, and then a family or a couple would just be $250. Which is still really
What
actually
do
a
we
pretty
do, Nikki, if we have a city employee that comes in and they work for fire and rescue, and they pay say $250? What if they leave the department? Are we aware of that? Do they have to repay, or do they keep that for the year?
We had we talked about that, and we had said current is the word we used. But do we need to define, like, is it current until the day they leave? Or, like if they buy the pass the day before they turn in their termination, or,
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot?
I mean, to my knowledge, it is not.
Right.
That's not to say it won't.
There's a way y'all can verify who's active.
Yes, we can contact, City Hall and say, hey, are these people still active?
I mean, I think once they pay it, that's probably I would think it wouldn't come up until the next time they're
Renewal.
Renewal.
I mean,
I agree.
it's the same way with the city school system, you know, if they buy a pass today and then they leave city school system 3 months from now and they have a year membership, you know, the way we've done in the past is when that pass expires, they have to provide proof that they're still employed with the city
Right.
school system.
Yeah. I would think it'd
Or
be
the
the
price
same.
increase.
Or the price increases, yes.
Yeah, that's the way I would see it.
And then the other thing we need to discuss back on the regular memberships, defining a student. So right now it says proof of full-time college enrollment for anyone required over 18. Do we want to open that up to you're just a college student, if you can provide a valid college ID, then you can get that rate? Or do we need to have them actually prove that they're a full-time college student?
Like show their transcripts that they have at least 12 credits or more.
Is that the student can be any age?
So the student is like, even let's say it's a high school student, their family necessarily doesn't want a membership, but the high
Right.
school student wants to come, then they could get that student membership rate. And then when you get into the college level, you know, right now it's set up, you have to be a full-time college student and provide proof that you're a full-time college
Right.
student. You know, usually that's in the form of a transcript.
Irregardless of age.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, yearly regardless of rate.
I mean, I think if you're a full-time college student, I mean, you're.
But even part-time, there's a lot of kids that just go to college part-time because they've got to have a job to help.
Yeah, so I guess that,
I don't know if I would discriminate against a part-time college student.
yeah, and I guess that's just what we just need to decide. Are we okay with that?
No.
You know, I mean, if you're going and getting your master's, I mean, one class at a time is, you know.
How many student members do we have?
They're full-time here.
I mean, there's
We don't have really.
not too many student memberships per se. Yeah, most of our memberships are couples and families.
So do we
I'd be
just need
inclined
to-
include a part-time college student.
Okay, so just proof of college enrollment,
Me
right?
personally, I would.
Okay.
I think so too.
So we'll just get rid of full-time and just put proof of college enrollment. So if they show their college ID, they're,
Or they're going to the TCAT and they may, you know, a TCAT may be
Okay.
part-time and they're doing welding, but then they've got to go spend half their time working with a welder or an electrician or whatever.
okay.
Some of those things are only 9-month program or something, aren't they?
Yeah.
So do we need to use a word like college slash, like, what would you call like? the two-
TCAT.
Just full or part-time
Post,
High school.
okay,
College or technical school.
yeah.
college technical, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so I'll just make that wording change. So with that, I guess, with that wording would be, I guess, if we make a motion. Any other changes or corrections?
I make a motion that we approve these membership fees for the 25-26 year.
With the wording
With the
change.
With the wording change on the student?
Second.
I have a motion and a second, motion by Prater, second by Stan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, does everybody have their magnifying glass? I need my glasses to read these.
So next item is concession pricing. So we are actually in the process today of installing a point-of-sale system. It will allow us to take credit cards for concessions. Currently, we're operating a cash register, so all we can take is cash for it. This point-of-sale system will also allow us to enter the inventory into the system, so help us keep track of inventory. We had help from Kelly Weber in the finance department. She helped us go through our pricing and factor in a little bit of the labor to help cover our labor costs when it comes to concessions. So some of our pricing we're proposing on changing, some of it staying the same. You know, originally, something like chicken strips, they didn't even have on the menu, but we told her, that's a big seller. We'd rather offer it, and, somebody may not buy it, but we'd like to have that option because does sell a lot. That's gonna be our most expensive thing on the items there.
And something like chicken strips at $4.50 is a break-even item.
Yeah. So, I don't know if there's anything particular you wanna look at or discuss.
And just that one of the items that will be dropping from this list is, we used to sell Smart Waters, and Smart Waters is an item that we're just not gonna sell anymore because it's too expensive. What we would have to sell it for, we won't make money on it, so we're not gonna sell Smart Waters. Once we have this new approved list, we're gonna stop selling them.
You're definitely gonna make more money on the drinks.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
drinks are gonna go up. We're in the process, when it comes to the drink side, installing fountain drinks at the rec center concessions. So, it'll still be the same pricing, but the volume of liquid that you get will be the same as in a bottle. So we'll just sell it in a cup form instead of bottle form, because from us, if we sell it fountain style, we have a larger profit margin than
You
selling
make
it
more
on,
money that way.
Yep.
selling through the bottle.
So if we were selling a, was it 22-ounce bottle?
20-ounce
24
bottle.
20-ounce bottle, we'll get a 20-ounce cup. So they might spend the same amount, but they'll
But
still get.
isolate a part of that volume.
But we'll still sell the
Right.
20-ounce.
So when do you start the point of sale?
Well, we're getting all that today. There's something that they had ordered that hasn't come in yet, but they're doing the conversion on our rec track system tonight. So in the next couple weeks, but
So
it's,
will you have, the employees come in and do training on it, or is it?
yeah, oh, yeah.
Pretty easy?
Yeah, but the nice thing is it's a touch screen, and they can hit like candy bars and sodas, and it subtracts it from the inventory that's preloaded into the computer. So then we can do inventory counts and cross-reference that with what's in the
So at
system to make
At
sure.
the rec center, how many point-of-sale screens will there be?
There'll be 2.
So
Mhm. So it's just gonna make everything easier. There's gonna be, we can keep track of our inventory and our pricing and everything, and being able to take debit cards will be nice. And one of the things that's
no more
really.
cash at all?
Well, we can take cash if people want to, but one of the nice things for Katie with camp is the campers would come and they'd have little baggies with their names on it that the counselors would have to keep up. So if they bought concessions at the pool, well, now we're gonna have little gift cards that the parents can preload. So now they'll have little cards that they have their names on, and we can use those, and now we don't have to worry about keeping up with money.
Cash.
Yeah.
So that will make it a whole lot easier and nicer
Can a
for.
parent always do that with any, like if they were dropping the kids
Absolutely,
off? and-
absolutely, yep. Yeah, they can use that through the year, or kids that come regularly.
Yeah.
They can use that for day passes, they can use it for concessions,
And
they can, Christmas
That's
presents.
for say you could sell it as a gift card.
Mhm. Yep.
I missed the comments on drinks. What are they now?
Some of them vary, but, like Powerades are going from $2 to $3.50, because they're quite expensive.
What about your Cokes and things, or what,
They're gonna go from $2 to
their
$3.
bottles, cans?
The bottles will, and we are at some point this summer going to fountain sodas,
That's what I was trying to,
but we're gonna make sure that they're the same ounce.
so when you go to the soda, when you go to the fountains, will they have the same option of getting a can or a bottle or?
Well,
soda,
we will
or-
still sell the bottles at the front desk, because we won't have fountain sodas. So if
Okay.
somebody really wants a bottled soda, they could,
Front
But that
desk.
won't always be open either, the concession part,
at the concession stand,
at the end of the hall.
Yeah, they'll just be open during.
just during the
hours.
pool,
Yes.
yeah. So the fountain sodas are only gonna be for the pool,
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
just one size fits all.
But they can carry the bottle drinks or cans outside if they got them at the
Absolutely, yeah.
front desk, okay?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
Do we have motion to accept the new pricing as it is.
What are all these asterisks
That's what I
on
was gonna
here
ask
for?
you. Is there something down at the bottom that's
I don't
referring
know
to?
why she put the
I don't know why
asterisks
they're all-
on there.
'cause usually that
I
refers
don't
down
think
to
it's got
something.
adding cheese, and you wouldn't add cheese to
Probably
everything on here.
Get rid of those unless there's a reason. The only one that doesn't have it is the pizza.
Not sure why she. I think those with asterisks are things that have changed. Yeah, if they have asterisks, then they've,
Okay.
fruit snacks didn't change.
What now?
Fruit
They didn't
snacks and ring
change.
pops.
Kelly Weber at the finance put this together, so I'm not sure what the asterisk, because
Well, my price list also won't have the before or the after.
Yeah, right.
you don't have the asterisk on it.
And I assume that this is something that you all will look at every year and adjust.
We will, and that's why you've seen this a lot when we're constantly, because with inflation, we've come to you several times with these. Because,
So we have a motion to approve. Motion by Leslie, second by Stan. All those in favor, say
Got a
aye.
quick question, just a minute. Do we make the pizza or we buy those?
from Domino's. Domino's brings them,
They bring them.
and they sell it to us at a discounted price.
No further questions?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Stuck there.
Yeah.
I think you went over.
We've covered sports fields, unless you have any more questions about it.
We just got out of line.
Yep, it's all right. So is there anything else that you would like to discuss that's on your minds?
I know I missed a couple of meetings, so I can't help that. That's beside the point, but I should be able to make the rest of them. I know Ms. Gaddis made a appearance at the Kiwanis Club a couple of 3 weeks ago and talked about the new playground versus the old playground. Did that come through you folks, or
I don't think we've discussed it here.
the way she talked? And I don't have anything against that. That's fine with me. It looks good. I planned to. But what I understood her say that the old park was gonna be torn down completely.
Yes,
What's gonna happen to it?
it'll be disposed of. So playgrounds, whenever they reach their end of life, you have to dispose of them, because if you take a playground and let's say we donate it to a school, that liability goes with the original purchaser of the playground. So even though that may not be on our property anymore, if a child was to get hurt on that playground piece of equipment, it would fall back on the city. So,
Even if the people that we bought them from puts it up, takes it down?
correct. Yep. Yep. And to be honest, the equipment that's there, it's not worth
It's
reusing.
30 years old. I was on the board of mayor and alderman when that was
Yeah, well,
installed.
some of it's not though. I mean, the part of the handicap accessibility,
Well, no,
That one's
that
staying.
one's staying. The
That
new
one's
one that
staying.
was just built staying. It's the original Hunter Gaddis playground.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that would be.
she just
being
wasn't
taken
clear
down.
on that, and I
Yes.
didn't.
Yeah, no, the new one that
Yeah,
we
it's
built.
just that was, at that time, they collected and raised the money to just build that one little park.
Yes, yes.
That's what's gonna go away,
Yeah,
be replaced.
yes.
Yeah, and we keep assessing that, and as we see hazards, that's slowly gonna,
Sure.
I do hear that there's some vandalism and stuff behind the old school. I can't think what's that school? River?
Riverview.
The old Riverview property?
Yes.
Yes. So the building, my understanding is, last I knew, is a joint owned between the city school system and the county school system.
60/40,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I noticed the other day when I was over, they pretty much boarded it all up except for there's one back door that's still open.
Could that not be compromised between the two systems?
It needs to be sold.
That's what I started saying.
Yeah.
Sold or
Of course,
It's asbestos, right?
the
Can't
city's
sell
not
it.
gonna buy it, but the building needs to be torn down.
That's what I'm saying, and disposed of.
And I know there has been asbestos in it, and I'm not sure whether it's still there or not, because it's been several years since I've dealt with it. But,
I mean, it's really an eyesore. I drove by and it's all,
I know the city system
up.
does not use it for anything. I'm not sure we even have keys to it in Manchester City Schools. I don't know what Coffee County does. One time they had a lot of computer equipment and stuff in there, and I don't know whether it's still there or not. I have no idea. Let me talk with Dr. Vaughn and see if he wants to pursue getting with the county school system, a new director, and doing something with the building. Of course, it's a hazard, in all honesty.
yeah, if people are going in and out of it,
It's
somebody
getting-
could get
It's
hurt.
getting to be very unsightly.
Yes, that's what I noticed when I drove by.
And I don't know whether the city would have the equipment to tear it down or not. I don't know.
I do
Of course,
not
it
know.
depends on, it depends on if there's any asbestos still in it. They'll have to get that mediated somewhere, somehow. I don't think the boiler that was downstairs, from what I understand, is not there anymore. That had asbestos around it, but I think that's been taken care of several years ago. So I don't know what the building looks like on the inside now. I have no idea. There was floor tile in there that that was asbestos. But outside of that, I don't know anything else that was in there at the time. But let me get Dr. Vaughn to maybe kind of get on that and see if he can come up with a solution to. I mean, if the city can tear it down, I'd hate to have to pay someone to tear it down.
Yeah, you'd have to.
I think even the city tore down, I think your big expense would them finding a place to dispose of all the material.
Yeah, yeah.
Would be the issue.
When there was the raw sewage down there, we could just swept it down there.
Do what?
It sucked up.
Could it be fire?
I said when there was that raw sewage down
Training.
there, we could have just swept it
That'd
off
be a
the
question for
side
the fire
and let it
chief.
just get sucked up.
Possibly.
Could it possibly be fire training?
Mm.
Guess it just
It
depends
could
on
be
the
used for
asbestos.
that. Like I said, I don't know what's inside the building
Donate
now.
it to the fire department.
I'm not
Unless
sure
it's got asbestos.
Uh,
It's got asbestos in it.
whether it could be used for that. I mean, a possibility, but it still would need to be
I think it'll burn because it was used as a fire.
kind of fixed up a little bit. It's looking awful shabby looking. And I know,
There's just some historical significance to that building, I think is one of the reasons why.
oh yeah, there probably is. I mean, I'm sure there is. But it,
Maybe the historical
you know,
society would like it.
if it's gonna stay there, it needs to have some refurbishing, at least on the outside. And I know, I'm pretty sure that Manchester City doesn't have anything to do with the maintenance of it right now. And I really don't know whether Coffee County does any maintenance on it right now.
Doesn't look like anybody.
Yeah, it looks like it's lacking a lot of,
Yeah.
Do what?
looks like it's lacking a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, yeah.
Did I hear something with the Boyer house? Is there something gonna be explored with that or something, or?
Not that I've heard of.
Okay, that might be a dream.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's something I just dreamed up, so.
Unless you've heard something I haven't heard, but no, I haven't heard
No.
anything.
Maybe it's, we mentioned it in the
We
other
mentioned
meeting.
at the planning session we had, we mentioned the Boyer House and some possibilities with it.
Oh, yeah, we
But
did.
Nothing definite has been discussed. Anything else?
I think you need to make sure that the leagues are cutting the lights off when someone leaves and be responsible for them. We've always had that problem. And hopefully, since we don't have anything to do with the field maintenance anymore, we don't have that much authority over cutting the lights on and off, I don't guess.
We still, for lack of better words, control the lights
Okay,
from the new lighting system.
Yes.
Because it's all controlled through an app and a website on the computer. So they submit a schedule to us of when they want lights, and we set the schedule in it. They automatically come on 30 minutes before dark, and then they go off at whatever time the league
so
tells us to do.
y'all can manually cut them on and off from the office, is
Yes,
that
yeah.
what you're saying?
Yeah, I can actually,
From
you
the
know.
phone.
Yeah, yeah, and then, now there's 3 fields, the Miller Field, the National League, and Field 9, that are still the old, you've gotta go to the breaker and flip the light.
Yeah.
So the ball leagues take care of those 3 fields whenever they use them. But the other fields, like I said, even the soccer fields, they submit a light schedule to us, and we put it in the system, and then,
Date for the
you
next
know,
one.
unless they let us know, hey, we've got to change, that schedule's set for the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know over the past years, there's been times, you know, you've gone by the ball fields at 10 o'clock and nobody's down there and all the lights are on.
I've come into the rec center
Yeah.
at 4:45 in the morning and seen the ball field lights on, I have to swing down there and turn them off before I go open up the rec center, so.
Okay.
So our next meeting is scheduled for June the 11th, if that still works for everybody.
I will not be here.
I will tell you this, I think in the
Do without you then.
thing that they're advertising meetings, they're still advertising that this meeting is at the rec center.
Who is?
I think it still says at 12 too.
Yes, it
Yeah.
says at 12 o'clock.
Where's that at?
Thunder Radio just posted it, I think, a couple days
Where are
ago.
they getting the info from?
Yeah, they had posted a list of all the city meetings or whatever, and this one still said 12 o'clock.
It says 12
at the rec
o'clock at the
center.
rec center.
I'll check with City Hall and make sure, I know the last one I saw from City Hall, they had it changed, you know, when we started meeting Wednesdays at 4:30. So,
And it probably is changed on the website, but somehow it's picking up. Anything else?
that's it from us.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to approve and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
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 See you the 11th.